This is Irontrader, and this is Midday Trading. So I'll tell you what to do today. We're going to take a look at quite a few stocks. Okay, first one's going to be Snowflake, PLTR, Goldman Sachs, JPM, Charter, and Verizon. Okay, this video is for information purposes only, not a recommendation to buy any stock commodity ETF. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Okay, here we have Snowflake and Palantir. Okay, so we'll take a look here now. We can see here we had a really good run here off this level here. We'll look at that 120 area. Very, very nice here. Came right down. Retested it, and we couldn't get through this 21-day like a lot of the stocks, but now she's ripping up same way like the NASDAQ, the Dow, and the S&P. Okay, so what we're looking for on the upside is right here is this key level, is that 184.29 level. Okay, so now we can see here where we had this consolidation here, up a little bit of consolidation, and now we're consolidating again. But again, if we can crack that 184.29 level, okay, then what we're going to do is we're going to look right here over here to the top of this candle. You're looking at 185.93, and then we're going to come to the top of this candle. Let's bring this price channel right across. Okay, then we're looking at 187.95. Then we always want to look to the left of the chart. We want to look right there at 190.92, and then we work ourselves all the way up to 194.40 level. But the key is going to be closing above this key level here, this 184.29. Now, on the downside here, you can see, look at this 8-day. Look how nice this is holding. See, came right on down and held it, all the way on up, even there yesterday, candle still holding it. So this is going to be very, very key support level at 178.46. Now, if you look at the bottom of this candle right here, you're looking at 177.67. There's your gap. And then we want to look to the top of this candle at 176.36. So we have a gap and we have a fill. Okay, then we look to the bottom there at 172. And then we work ourselves right to the top of this candle right here. You're looking at 169.39. And then we start running into your key support, your 100 SMA here. We're sitting there at 164.82. And then we have that 21-day 164.81 level. Okay, very, very nice. So that 8-day is everything. As long as it holds it, we're doing really good. So what we're doing is we're trading right now between this 8 SMA here. Okay, that 178.46 level, and then we're looking at that price channel at that 184.29. Now, you have to look at this RSI. See how we're getting to this way overbought condition, okay? So you have to look at the past. We got over here to the overbought condition, and then what happened? It pulled right on down. Okay, so this is how all these charts are looking. So I'm telling you right now, there's going to be a correction going to be coming here, either end of this month here or in June. So just get prepared for it, because that's what's going to happen. You can see here, all these charts are exactly the same. Now, I'm not saying that it can't rip up here and retest these levels, but what I'm saying is you are going to get a correction when you start having that RS up, I up that high. Now, your green is over your red. That's still looking very, very good here. But I say, just watch that 8-day. If that's lost, we're going to come right down to that 21-day and that 100-day. That's going to be your key level. If we crack that price channel at that 184, we work ourselves up here, and we can do a retest of 194.40. You crack that, you're obviously going to go to that 200 area. Now, Palantir, what a great, great trade this has been, okay? So we came all the way on down here, and then what we have is kind of like an inverse head and shoulders pattern. See your left shoulder, your head, your right shoulder, and then we cracked this key level right here, and then we just rallied right on up here nicely. Now, again, here's what we got, though. See, we have this negative divergence, so watch this. See, while we have this high, okay, and then we made a higher high, but what did your RSI do? It made a lower high, okay? See this negative divergence? So be very, very careful with what's going on here. Now, we made this high of 133.49. Usually it likes to go to round numbers, that 135 area, 140. I'm not saying it gets exactly there, but, you know, that's usually what it is. So you got to crack that 133.49, then you go to that 135 area. But on the downside here, where we're watching this key 8-day, 122.52. If that's lost, we're going to come down here to this 114.40 level. Then we have your 50-day sitting right here at 98.21. Now, there is a gap. Just put this on your back burner, 97.83, and then we have that fill sitting right here at 96.34. So gap in the fill, but we have that 50-day and we have the old 100-day sitting right below all this, okay? But again, just keep your eye on this here. See this negative divergence? I don't never like to see that, because that tells you that's really topping out. The same way with here, we're getting to this overbought situation, so just be a little bit careful. Okay, let's take a look here now at Goldman Sachs and JPM. Okay, here we have Goldman Sachs, here we have JPM. Now you can see here what's happening is this looks just like the rest, like the S&P, the Dow, and the NASDAQ. See how it came right on down? That 21-day was holding it down. Now we're rallying up here, but look at these candles, okay? So we have the big green candle. Now look how small the candles are getting. Usually when you have that, you have to put different things together when you see that there's going to be a pullback is coming, or at least a consolidation, okay? So you add that up, and then you have this overbought scenario over here, okay? And then, and then we have this MACD, which is almost at the top limit here, okay? So a pullback in this, is not going to be, no big deal, okay? So this is what we're looking for, is that 8-day at 590. Now, there is a gap, okay? So I want you to watch the bottom of that candle. That's 588.08. That's going to be support. And then we have this fill at 572.10. And then we come right down here. We have that 21-day at 559. And then we have that old 553, your 200-day. And then we have your 50-day at 543 level, okay? So that is your downside situation. But this is starting to get, this is not where you take new positions, okay? This right down here is where you take new positions when you see, okay, this oversold, okay? That's where you take a position, not way up here. Unless you own it, you can hold it if you're going to be a long-termer, and then you can always add to your position. Now, again, if we can get above today's high at 619.98, what we're looking for is bring this price channel right across here. This is what your next level is going to be. It's going to be 628.78 level, okay? And then what we want to do is we just want to look right to the left here, okay, 645. We come up here, and we're looking at roughly 650, and we'll come up to the top of this candle, 663, and then your big retest at 672. But the candles are starting to really tighten up here, which tells me that a sell-off or consolidation is coming. Okay, so just remember that. Now here on JP Morgan, looks like Jamie Dimon's looking for the exit door. He's going to do himself a little bit retiring. Okay, which is that's all good. But I really liked him. I thought he was a really good banker. I mean, I just really, he's just a really good overall banker. Now, you look at this, we're getting to that oversold, overbought condition here again. Same way with your MACD. So I think a little pullback is in order coming on here. So what we want to watch is we want to watch that 8-day, 259.91. But then we have that gap here also, okay, 258. Okay, and then here's your fill at 255. So this is where your gap and your fill. Then if we lose that, you're going to come right down to the old Hondo over here at that 249. And then we have your 21-day at that 249.45. And then we have your 50-day right below this. Okay, now say it rallies back up here again. So we're coming up to the top of this candle at that 269 level here. Then with the next level, we're going to come right from the top of this candle at 270.68. And we'll come up to the top of this candle, 278. 55 level, and then 280.25 is your breakout. Now, again, you break out of that and you're going to that 300 mark. That's going to be your target here, but we're getting really, really overextended here with these stocks. Okay, let's take a look here at Charter and Verizon. Okay, so here's Charter. It came out there today, and they want to buy the old Cox. So they want to pretty much do a monopoly. Now, we don't know if that's even going to be able to be feasible or not, kind of a situation. But when we look at this run up, we ran all the way up to 437. But look at this topping tail here. Holy schmoly, look at old Sticky. Way up here, okay? And then she just pulled right on back, okay? So you can see here where you're getting right here, the same thing is this overbought condition, okay? So just always remember that. Now, on the upside here, if you break that 437, say it rallies right back up here, then you're going to target that 450 area, okay? Now, on the downside, this 410 here is everything, okay? So if you lose that, start losing that 8-day, then we'll come out to the bottom of that candle. You're looking at 407 level. We'll come down here. We're looking at roughly 400, and then we'll come down to the bottom of this candle here. You're looking at that 392, and then we can just bring this right across here on top of what we have here. You're looking at that 387. You work yourself right down here to the old 21-day at 382 level, okay? But again, this is getting way overextended. You look at any of these these stocks here, they're getting way, way overextended. Now, if this does sell off here, now, and I'm not saying this is where it's going to go, but there is a big gap right here. So always watch that 356 level here is your gap, and then we look to the top of this candle at 339. Gap in your fill if all these simple moving averages here are lost, okay? But this is not something that you go in now. This is way, way too light. You have to be in down here, okay? When you look at these conditions here, you want to get where it's totally oversold. That's where your buying opportunity is. Okay, now Verizon. Here we have the old Verizon. You can do just like a sideways chop. Nothing really happening here. This is still looking good. This is still looking okay. We just have that sideways action. So what we're watching here on Verizon is that 50-day at 43.71. If we get above that, we're going to be looking at the top of that candle at 44.36. And then we just bring this bad boy right over. Okay, you got 44.89. We'll come up to here. You got 46.19, and then there's your big retest at 47.36. This is these blue lines are just price channels. And what I like about it is as the bottom goes, say, sells right off here, it leaves the other side. So then when it rallies up here, all they are is bring them across, and that is going to be your upside targets, your resistant levels. Okay, very easy. Now, downside here, we got a lot of good support. You're hanging right around that 43 mark. That is your 8-day and your 21-day. If that's lost, you're going to come down to the 42 mark, your 200-day and your 100-day. And then we have that retest down here at 41.34. And then we come all the way down here to your 40.88. Now, Verizon is not really my kind of stock here. It just sideways chop kind of situation. And there isn't really enough movement here for a trader kind of a situation. But again, if you're in this, just watch this key 50-day on the upside. And then if it breaks it, we just follow the candles all the way on up here till you get your big retest. On the downside, just watch these simple moving averages, especially this 200-day and 100-day. As long as that hold, if it doesn't, then we come down to the 41.34 and we come down to here to the old retest here on the bottom at that 40.88 level. Okay, that's what I got for you, and I'll be back here after the old pit close. We'll take a look here at Bitcoin, crude oil, natural gas, and we'll take a look at the old indexes, the Dow, the S&P, and the old NASDAQ. All right, trade what's in front of you, not what you want.